Hello, everybody. Happy to be here with you. We were talking before of adding identifiers, adding standard values. We are doing this with our experience. We are going to tell you about our experience with IdRef, donc identifiant référentiel from French Agence bibliographique de l'enseignement supérieur, ABS. We work with this vocabulary in our Alma ILS since more than 1 year. No. Marie is a cataloger, especially in rare books and archives cataloging.
Next slide, please. Thanks. Our catalog contains 1,700,000 bibliographic records, with heritage collections from the University's foundation in 1817 and more than 41,000 items in our rare books and special collections. Rare collections have a special view, l'édito, besides the main catalog. Our discovery tools is Primo VE from Ex Libris. Thanks. ULiège Library works with Alma ILS from Ex Libris since 2015. The particularity of Alma is its community zone, which is a shared environment for all Alma customers. And it contains a community catalog, bibliographic records for e-resources, a knowledge base, the linking encourage information for e-resources, and a service for maintaining authority vocabularies for names and subject headings. For example, the Library of Congress vocabularies, Autorité de la Bibliothèque nationale de France, Rameau, Mesh, and so on. All are marked records with regular updates. Until autumn 2021, ULiège Library worked with a priority configuration for names and title entries. Priority 1 was French authorities from Bibliothèque nationale de France, and priority 2 was the use of Library of Congress names if the heading was not found in the BNF file. We created local authorities only for headings not found in one of those reference files. And for subject indexing, we use Rameau, Library of Congress subject headings, and medical subject headings. Next slide, please. Creation of local authority was quite random. In theory, authority records creation was required for a defined scope, rare books records, Belgian authors, ULiège members. But in practice, there were authority creation when homonyms for some catalogers, and disambiguation of the heading in the bibliographic record for other catalogers. Also some frustration. Local authority stay local and underused. About BNF authorities and Rameau in Alma Community Zone, the situation in 2020 was still some mapping errors, Unimark to Mark 21 corrected only for new or revised records. Unimark format changes were not applied, and monthly releases from the Bibliothèque nationale de France. Next slide, please. Thanks. IdRef, identifiant et référentiel pour l'enseignement supérieur et la recherche, from the French Agence bibliographique pour l'enseignement supérieur, was integrated in Mark 21 format in the Alma Community Zone by August 2020, under the impulse of the Swiss network SLSP, Swiss Library Service Platform, also on Alma. IdRef in the Alma CZ presents good quality records, with one unique file for names, titles, subjects, and geographical names. The updates occur every 6 hours by harvesting. And the scope, higher education, French language, is more similar to our collections. Thus, the ABS gives us the opportunity to become an IdRef producer. The IdRef network now includes French institutions, Switzerland networks, SLSP, Reroplus, Renouveau from Lausanne, and ULiège Library. Next slide, please. Thanks. We can produce and enhance existing data in an international reference file. It's not local anymore. We have an increased visibility of our authority data, but also of the whole catalog, SRU search from IdRef web interface. We put a clear focus on Belgian authors, mostly from Liège area, ULiège researchers, agents related to items of our heritage print or digital collections. And the importance of authority records among catalogers has increased, preparing a next step for the understanding of entities. Next slide, please. Currently, links between bibliographic headings and authority are text-based. We have many wrong links due to system changes, due to a lack of control, due to automatic linking jobs, and there is no link when duplicates. The final aim for us is a change of paradigm. It means a change of configuration, changing the linking process from text to ID, which will be a more reliable process for authority linking, and this will be done by autumn 2022.
Next slides, please. Our IdRef project is a multiple work areas. First, the linking to the IdRef vocabulary in the Alma community zone is a new processing for catalogers. It's changing the cataloging practices. Secondly, enter the IdRef environment for record creation, for modification processes was made on a voluntary basis. Only 14 catalogers work in IdRef interface out of 40 catalogers we have in ULiège Library. That the challenge was the running of new cataloging rules, of a new production of cataloging environments, and new rules with Unimark format. We work with Mark 21. Third, we developed a tool to provide interoperability between Alma and IdRef web interface. It's an interface between our Alma metadata editor and the IdRef question form, which permits an easy linking between our access points in BIP records and the Alma, the IdRef authority records. For creation, we retrieved basic metadata for creation from the Alma bibliographic record. We have now improved workflow for creation and enhancement of authority records, and we retrieve access points, correct form, valid heading with the identifiers and the URIs in the BIP record. The advantage is also that the IdRef record, the new created record in the IdRef database production environment, is immediately usable in our Alma metadata editor. We don't have to wait for the records to be harvested in the Alma community zone. The objective is to limit the impact on the cataloging time. Next slide, please. Next, sorry. Here you have an illustration on the plugin we have developed. It's based on JavaScript and parallel scripts. You can see using the QR code, you can see the video. I'm sure. And this illustration on the next slide, see it? This illustration is our application. We have developed a plugin to interface Alma with IdRef, and we've developed an application for our catalogers. They can request creation and enhancement, the duplication if they see something wrong in IdRef. Next slide. In order to change the configuration to ID-based linking, we have to add identifiers in all the records of our catalog, for name headings, for subject headings also. In current cataloging, we use the workflow with the plugin Alma IdRef. Most of all, we have many records where we import from Subdoc catalog, from external search. In last January 2022, the ABS added format changes to format export, and they added URIs and identifiers in Mark 21 format export records. For existing records, we have to launch batch jobs for data curation and enrichment. We've defined 2 treatments depending on Alma possibility for import. We work with Alma import jobs. The first phase concerns non-repeated 100 and 100 fields. We manage sets of about 50,000 to 100,000 records based on the presence of ISBN, language of cataloging, etc. Next slide, please. I forget. Next. Yes, thanks. The alignment job we made relies on Bibliostratus, which is a tool, an alignment tool developed by the French program Transition bibliographique. The alignment service looks at ISBN, title, date, and headings information that leads to more accuracy for us, mainly the correction of wrong headings we had in the catalog based off the text-based linking process. We have many very bad linked headings in the catalog. The linking on ID, the adding of the identifiers will allow us to have more correct headings. Next slide, please. The second phase concerns repeated 700 fields. We work then with the entire record. We use reconciliation services with OpenRefine, the reconciliation services against sudoc source in VF, or we do manual enrichment with more little sets for specific micro projects, rare books, printers, printing places, and so on. Next step. Next slide. For phase 1, the workflow is exporting a record from Alma, mark edit, transformation, OpenRefine, curation before we can launch the file to Bibliostratus tool, and then we can re-import the record in Alma. For phase 2, it's just OpenRefine services. It's much more simply, but less reliable for us. It's a work. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Thanks. It's really a work in progress. We have begun in July 2021 the first alignment jobs and adding the identifiers in current cataloging. At this stage, we have about 1,300,000 bibliographic records for books. At this stage, we have added about 300,000 main headings with valid IdRef headings, identifiers, and URIs. If no results from the 2 previous jobs, we make another stage. We could, you have to improve yet this process. We could send the files of bibliographic records to our base in order to create minimal authority records. We don't know at this stage of how we could update Alma records, Alma bibliographic record after creation. It's still to test for us, but it's the next step. Final step is also the alignment of our local authority records. We have not many records, about 200,000 records. We are doing manual control on this set of records and delete local record and hence manually bibliographic records with our plugin workflow. Well, it's time. In conclusion, we can say that plugin, the application for creation requests, we have positive reaction. Next slide, please. Next. Okay. We have positive reaction from our catalogers. It's a fluent workflow for us. We also had interest from other institutions, with libraries particularly who work with Alma, were interested by this plugin functionality. Also, we had very constructive dialogues with IdRef team in ABS, and full presence for technical reflection, during staff training, so on. Also from Swiss colleagues. We've increased catalog quality with this adding, with this control of on our headings, on our access points. We have also increased catalog quality for end users. We have now an IdRef external link. Users can click and navigate to the IdRef interface. And just we're preparing for further link data integration in our discovery tools, also cards, and so on.